Believe it or not, linear algebra has many applications in the real world outside your classroom. It's used in many things like animation or robotics, but it's also had other uses in the past, specifically cryptography. Cryptography can be traced back to about 1900 BC, when ancient Egyptians used hieroglyphics to encrypt messages. They were a mix of symbols and images carved into walls, which was their Egyptian language. This was the earliest form of cryptography, which wasn't used to hide messages, but to just change the form of the message. Kinda cool, but I can't imagine how long it took to write a single sentence, carving out images into stone. Skipping over some time till around 100 BC, where Julius Caesar was known to use a form of encryption to convey secret messages to his army generals. The encryption he used was called a substitution cipher, which was where the characters of the message were replaced by other characters to create the ciphertext. The variant Julius Caesar used, also known as the Caesar cipher, consisted of just shifting each letter by 3 places. So A would be replaced by D, B would be replaced by E, and so on. It would also loop around so that X would turn into A, then Y would turn into B, and so on.
So let's talk about how cryptography and linear algebra are related. In 1922, American mathematician Lester Hill created the Hill cipher, which used matrix multiplication to encode and decode messages written in English. The Hill cipher utilizes an invertible square key matrix that is only known by the sender of the message and the intended receiver or receivers. The sender would convert the message by turning it into a matrix with values corresponding to the letters in the alphabet, and break it up into matrices that can be multiplied by the key matrix. This message makes messages hard to crack, since there are so many possible key matrices. For example, if the key matrix is a 3x3 matrix, there are about 5 trillion possible key matrices, a number that only increases with the size of the key matrix. In World War II, the Germans actually had a machine called the Enigma machine that encrypted messages in a similar fashion to the Hill cipher. It was later broken by Polish scientists using linear algebra. Nowadays, the Hill cipher is rarely used in encryption since most computers can easily test thousands of keys in the span of seconds. Nevertheless, it was an important building block that led to more advanced forms of encryption.
Fast forward to the 21st century. In the digital environment we live in, believe it or not, there are numerous implementations of cryptography. The most notable example is encryption, which is the process of encoding sensitive, personal, and confidential data in such a way that only authorized parties can access it. Only parties who have been issued with the encryption key are able to decrypt the data. Usually in applications like WhatsApp, there is end-to-end encryption, which, in other words, is where only the sender and receiver can read the message. This ensures that there is no entity that can meddle in and jeopardize the safety of this communication. Another vital aspect of cryptography is its implementation of accessing data. It requires the administrator or the owner of the data to initiate more protections on the data, such as authentication via a password, every time the owner needs to access them.